Hello everyone, it is FC231, continuing my dinosaur theme, and today I will be bringing you this dinosaur here. This guy is called Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus ate mostly fish and other small animals, often nicknamed two-rigid lizard, and it lived along riverbanks. Now this guy was from the Jurassic period, about 208 to 145 million years ago. A very, very long time ago. It was about 20 feet long. Now this guy was called two-rigid lizard simply because of the two crusts that it had on top of its head here. And kind of like a miniature T-Rex, but not quite. I mean, it had longer limbs for its hands, and the feet were different shaped, more like a bird's. Kind of had like that backbone, recessed back, and then a longer bone going down, supporting its feet, supporting the knees and the thick legs there. Now, one problem that I have with this figure is that you notice that I am holding it by its tail. If I let it go, it won't stand. It refuses to stay standing. Any type of surface that I have tried to set him up on, he would just fall. Now this guy was a gift, so a friend of mine, a buddy of mine, gave me the Dilophosaurus, but it won't stand. I'm sure many of you may recall that this was the dinosaur that appeared in the first Jurassic Park film, the one that attacked and killed Dennis Nedry. Now the film may have exaggerated a bit, giving this dinosaur it had like that pouch along its neck that opened and it spit venom. But paleontologists have suggested that this dinosaur may not have done any of those things. It didn't spit venom, nor did it have that pouch along its neck. But overall, I mean, the color scheme is pretty good. Has a dark blue tone on the top, a lighter tone in the middle of its body, then it gets darker towards the legs, towards its three-toed legs, and the crest is red. The only downside is that. Here is a close-up of its head. Now, to me, this guy is pretty damned ugly. But, I mean, it was a dinosaur. Come on. Can't blame him. You can see the crest on top. It's red. Yellow eyes. Black pupils. The teeth is very noticeable since its mouth is open. You can also see the formation of like the skull. Similar, kind of similar to that of a velociraptor's. I'm just going to pan the camera around since I have him taped to the table. There is its lower jaw. And the other side of its head. Now the coloring, I gotta say, the paint app, really good job. I mean, for this dinosaur, Safari did a good job on this dinosaur. It was released back in 2008, but just a close-up of that, of its head, you can see shades of blue, like a dark blue within its socket, eye socket. The crest is red, kind of like a reddish color. And then you can see the detail and texture on there. And then there's the two rigid crest. It has that V shape, V formation. And then even along its body. And the tail, the feet, and that long neck. And this figure measures roughly about 6 3/4 inches long. Okay, so my overall grading on the Dilophosaurus, I'm going to have to give it 2 stars. 2 stars simply because of okay, it's standing there, but in certain other surfaces it falls. What I have done is either put tape on the tip of its tail, bend the tail back a bit, or push the left foot back, right foot forward, and perhaps it will stay in position, but after a while it'll tend to wear off. He'll flip forward, it'll fall. If you have him on display or on a shelf, a high shelf, he may fall. The crusts are very delicate. It could crack or break. So yeah, and another thing too is I kind of didn't like the fact that towards the tail here, there's a couple of numbers branded on him. I mean, other dinosaurs that I have don't have that serial number on them or a number on them. I mean, it's not that noticeable. It's not that much big of a deal, but it just kind of looks off. I guess you could probably just pretend that It's some number, the numbers are from a Jurassic Park mock, if you're trying to do like a Jurassic Park stop motion, and these numbers were branded on it just to keep it controlled, or just to know that it's part of the park. I don't know, I'm just rambling, blah blah blah. But yeah, 2 stars for fair. I'm not gonna give it 1 star for poor because it is not a poor figurine. I think it has potential. It's really good. Um, I mean, but just a fair status because it won't stand properly, and that's the only problem that I had with it. So, I mean, I think fair is fine for it. So there you have it. Dilophosaurus from Safari, 2008.